to join the Grameena Incubation Center, where he mentored rural entrepreneurs. Let's welcome Mr. Vijay with a round of applause.
Hello. So, very good afternoon to all of you. And my name is Vijay, working as a mentor with Grameena Incubation Center. But before that, if I have to describe myself in a word, or maybe maybe 2-3 words, I'd say I'm very bad at taking instructions and following directions. So that's how I've been working all my life. People used to say that you're good for doing a job. Do your job. People in business need to be sharp. Need to have they need to be cutthroat. If that's the word. A lot of people used to tell me like, money doesn't have smell. Somebody who's my role model in business used to tell me, what did he mean by money not having smell? Like the work that you do, whatever work you do, you still earn money, right? The money doesn't have smell, but the money does have color. Yeah. What is the color that money has? Anything else? Anyone? Black and white. Black. So that's where I set out. I wanted to do something, in a way which can be genuine. Can we be honest in a business? I think most of you are from School of Business. I think you will be able to tell me. So I didn't attend any School of Business, so I thought, let me try that out, experiment in life. So I started out my business like that. And like she has said, number of disasters, lot of failures. So finally having my own company, which I set up with my own PF money. I worked for a few years, and with that money I've set up. Now it's worth 5 crores. So that's a kind of a start. So I'm still, it's still a journey, but it's about 8 years old now. So still looking forward. Yeah. So now coming to, and then after all this also, what happened? Like I still remember the first order which I got, the first deposit to my account, the first 1 lakh that we earned, the first 10 lakhs we earned. After that, the numbers started getting blurred. There are too many zeros. I started, stopped enjoying the numbers. They were no longer endearing to me. It was more confusing. And then I started in this lookout. I started looking back to myself. Where can I actually fit in, and what can I actually do? I mean, something which all of us, all humans have this in them. We all love to do one thing. What is that? To help the other person. So I wanted to do that, and BCT and Grameena Incubation Center gave me that opportunity to work as a mentor, and they felt that my experience as an entrepreneur will be useful for mentoring other rural entrepreneurs. So I have a small presentation about Grameena here. So I'll just slide around. So Grameena Incubation Center our major goal is rural startups for rural India. So as an abstract, so we are India's only rural-based incubation center. You have a lot of incubation centers in Vijay, in other cities also, but they're mostly focused on the urban sector. But we are a rural-based incubation center. We focus on rural enterprises, and enterprises startups which can provide rural enterprises with the relevant technologies. Our area of focus is primarily rural entrepreneurship. The focus sector are women and people with disabilities. We are recognized by MIT as a center of excellence in agri-tech, and we have so far incubated 5 agri-tech startups, and we are working on a goal which is rural startups for rural India. So we'll come to that slowly. So Grameena focuses on rural micro nano entrepreneurship, and how is this done? Is done through the community level engagement. We identify, we train, we mentor rural women, people with disabilities, and we then connect them with the financial instruments, to empower them set up their own enterprise. A focus area, we are primarily working on promoting entrepreneurship among women, especially over 35 years, and people with disabilities. Why women over 35 years is the focus? The reason being, most of the women in the area that we work are all retrenched from SEZs. We work in a place called near Achutapuram. You have heard of the place? Achutapuram is near Brandix, and there are a lot of SEZs around. And after 35, most of the women get retrenched because they are not, physically so productive and not efficient in terms of output. So they get retrenched, and also there are health concerns, related to pollution. And after 35 years, once they have left their job, they've been removed from their jobs, they are left with no skill set, and they're not left with any source of income, because they join in these factories at the age of 16 to 18. So they don't learn agriculture, and by the end of 35 years, they don't have agriculture skills, animal husbandry skills, which is the primary bread, the primary source of employment in rural places. They either have to look after their animals or they have to do farming, and they are left with neither of the skill. So GIC's vision is to promote sustainable development of entrepreneurs from such marginalized sectors, and we are working towards strengthening such women-led businesses. It's done through training, mentoring, and financial assistance. And we have a vision to transform rural and tribal regions of North Andhra in a manner that all people are gainfully employed. The mission, you can read over there, it's to promote a culture of entrepreneurship among people in the rural and tribal areas. And it's done using BCT's extensive reach. BCT is Bhagavatullah Charitable Trust. It's an organization with over 46 years of experience in more than 200 villages. And using their extensive reach, we just sit on that, and we take advantage of that community reach, and using that we implement our planning over there. So you have all heard about incubation centers, right? What's an incubation center? Anyone?
Place where a startup will improvise their idea and build the first version of it.
Right. Absolutely. So something like as a layman, I will give us a very crude example. We have incubation centers in most villages. They are used for hatching eggs. Okay. What does an incubation center do is it creates the right kind of temperature, a suitable, safe environment for the egg to hatch. Right. So that's what we also do. Right. That's what an incubation center also does. It handholds the startup, provides that kind of environment, the inputs that it needs, and then ensure that it grows into a plump chick. So we do something different here, not just with startups. We also work with rural entrepreneurs, like I have already mentioned. So it's a two-pronged way of work that we have. Is one, we work with rural startups who work in rural areas on rural technologies, and also we work with rural entrepreneurs. So we have a methodology, like how it is organized is we conduct exploratory meetings in villages. A number of meetings are conducted. We identify rural entrepreneurs. Like this is the first part which I'm talking about is rural entrepreneurship. We identify rural entrepreneurs, people with the kind of ideology of how they are interested in entrepreneurship, and then we have a selection process. Then we help them establish their own business by providing them with the mentoring and training, and then finally incubation. So here, that's what is here. So I just don't have to explain it. I think you can look at the visual. So there, these exploratory meetings are conducted in village levels through village level communities and local grassroots workers, and we identify two kinds of people. Is first we identify the needy ones who require this kind of an entrepreneurship, and then again we identify people who are interested in entrepreneurship. Once we identify them, we create a platform for them, by incubating them at our incubation center as well as at their homes. We visit their homes, we try to mentor them and identify what kind of a business they want to set up, what kind of an entrepreneur they want to become, and what are the tools they require. Do they require some kind of a skill training? Do they require financial assistance? Do they require some kind of technical know-how of how to operate their business? And when all of that is identified, we mentor them, we nurture them with their idea, and we help them establish their business. All the skill training is done, and also we provide them with linkages with banks and NBFCs to support for their financial support if they require anything as such. And post incubation, we handhold them for 6 more months and see how they are doing with their business. And if there are any more gaps, we again re-mentor them and do the necessary corrections there. So far we have done 4 batches of cohorts. In the first batch, we have trained 285 micro and small entrepreneurs. Cohorts 2, we had shortlisted 19 agri entrepreneurs who are primarily basing on agriculture and agri startup linkages. Unfortunately, COVID hit us very bad. It hit the farmers also very bad. So they all had to wind up their ideas about entrepreneurship and go back to traditional farming. Cohorts 3, again, we started with unique business ideas. We identified 267 entrepreneurs. We mentored them. We are still trying to identify how to link these people with financing options and entrepreneurs. In cohorts 4, we have focused with cohorts 4 on more than 100 women who were retrenched from SEZs, and we have mentored and trained them, and we are helping them establish their own businesses. So the challenges that we faced, cohorts 1, there was a lot of lack of awareness. They didn't know what is entrepreneurship, they didn't know what is an incubation center. And with cohorts 2, like I said, COVID. And cohorts 3, we had issues with lack of reach, and unique business ideas were very less that we had received. The whole concept of cohorts 3 was, unique business ideas. Cohorts 4, the final challenge that we encountered is lack of low interest loans, failure of banks, and tough loan disbursement. This is what they faced. So these are the just a pictorial representation. We had so far launched 25 businesses. 92 women and PWs have been mentored. Around 690 people have been surveyed, and that's in 60 villages. So most of the businesses are rural enterprises are the traditional businesses, right? I can see like it will be mostly shops, bookshops, general stores. We have tailoring in the villages that we serve. We have a lot of women who are into tailoring and flour mills. So before we come to this slide, I will just skip that slide and I will come back there again. Some of the challenges that we had discussed, so we just can't leave those as challenges. So we tried to resolve them using the following linkages. Like one of the for the cohorts 4, we had a challenge with financial linkages, low interest loans and loan disbursement. So what we did was we partnered with a social organization called Rangde, and who takes care of all the loan assessment, collection, the security and monitoring. And NBFCs offer a very high interest rate high interest rate for people other than banks. But here we have got it for a lower price than what banks offer to public. So that was a win-win for both us as well as the entrepreneur, where they are getting a loan at a simple interest. We also have partnered with Merabills. Merabills is a very simple, I should say, very easy accounting application which all of us can utilize for monitoring our day-to-day expenditures. So Merabills is a very simple cloud-based. It's completely cloud-based, and it can work in offline mode as well. So using that, we have started implementing training for them on accounting. Because the moment you start having financial literacy, because most of us lack it during our schooling as well as our in our homes also, financial literacy is something which is not taught to us. We feel that financial literacy is very important, and the day they start understanding how much they are earning and how much they are spending, they start to understand their business better. So we have started training them on this. Tata AIG, Young Indians, Busy World, they are all assisting us in different ways. So I'll just come back. So some challenges that we were talking about in rural entrepreneurship. What we face, I'll just highlight two of them here. One was tech adoption, the adoption for technology. It is very low. People are very, what should we say, very stubborn not to accept technology. They don't want to accept technology because it is something that they don't know. So there have been challenges with technology adoption. Like I have said already, financial linkages was another big challenge in setting up rural enterprises. So just a brief about the kind of startups we have incubated. We have incubated 6 startups: Transity Digital Solutions, TraceX Technologies, Temperate Technologies, Intech Harness, Smarkato, Rukat. All of them are, of these 4 of them are agri-tech. The other 2 are Kirana aggregators. Of these, the 4 graduated ones are Transity, TraceX, Temperate and Intech Harness. Like in a brief to tell about them, Transity is into, they have developed a SaaS-based platform, for an end-to-end, from seed to fork. And it's kind of like a big basket kind of an application. You have your own startup, and you have an FPO. You can just take up their software and implement it for yourselves. TraceX is into blockchain technology, and they monitor the entire crop cycle, and they will give the right time for the harvesting, and what is the carbon footprint also is being monitored. Temperate is into development of low-cost cold storage solutions, and they are also awaiting a patent of their product. They have introduced something called dew point cooling technology. Intech Harness is a IoT-based pump controller. They are also awaiting a patent for their product. What does a pump controller do? Generally, it regulates the flow of water to the farms, to the fields. So this is a more sophisticated version of that. So some pictures of the activities that we have done. So we recently organized, in the month of July, we organized an Enterprising Bharat seminar as well, a workshop. So I'll come to that as well. So that's about the presentation, but I'm not done. Please don't clap. So I just want to finish the presentation, and come back to a few points that we wanted to talk about. Right. So we did talk about what Grameena is doing and what rural entrepreneurship is about. So I just wanted a few words about what kind of rural what is what is you would have understood what rural entrepreneurship is. It's not rocket science, but do you understand what are the challenges in rural entrepreneurship? If you can, anybody can say one challenge in rural entrepreneurship, apart from what I have told.
You mentioned they won't allow technology. They can't change. When you mean technology, are you talking about smartphone, users of smartphone, or else any application or any infrastructure they don't know?
All of them, in a nutshell, all of it.
Okay.
So some challenges that we observed by working with rural entrepreneurs. There is a social stigma, firstly, about entrepreneurship. It's there. I will not restrict it to rural. It's even there in the urban sector. Fortunately, it's come down a lot in the recent past 5-6 years, thanks to all the startup culture that's growing up. The social stigma is still there in the rural sector. It's both financial as well as cultural. Like the people are restricted to a number of businesses. Not everybody wants to do every kind of business. There is a cultural aspect to that. Also, there is a financial linkage to it. Like you do a business, what will happen if you incur a loss? Like we here in the cities are very fortunate that we have our parents to fall back onto, but most of the rural enterprises, they don't have anything to fall back onto except their own homes, right? So that is one major challenge. Innovation is very low, if not in all, I will not say in entire rural Bharat, but in areas, in the villages surrounding Visakhapatnam, we have seen very low innovation. They are very, and I did a Google search of rural entrepreneurs or rural ideas, innovations in Andhra Pradesh. There are very few that have come out, and we find a lot of rural innovation happening in Tamil Nadu. We see a lot of rural innovation happening in Maharashtra, in villages in Gujarat, Rajasthan. Also, we see that. So where is that we are lacking in rural innovation? I think that had to do something with the availability of regular income. We see that most of the villages surrounding our cities in Andhra Pradesh, they are all having SEZs in their vicinity. So there is a easy access to a regular steady income to all these rural community. So what will you choose, a regular paying job, or a risky, maybe one-time shot at a business? Everyone chooses the regular job, right? You are not here for that. You are all entrepreneurs. You are all here to understand that. So you are not here for that, but that's how the situation is. There's also this fear of failure. What will happen if the business is gone? Which is also with all of us. But I think we have overcome that step because you have stepped here. You know the avenues that are available to you. So that's the next thing, is the awareness and the knowledge of opportunities, the kind of access to financial instruments that we have, which the rural community lacks. Apart from this, if you are an entrepreneur and want to work in the rural segment, you have difficulty with transportation costs, which is very high. You have difficulty with lack of skilled labor. Agree? So these are the kind of challenges that we face. And I just would like to quote few more. Just let me know if I overshoot my time. Okay. So just couple of few people I would like to talk about, few rural entrepreneurs, who can be an example for all of us. One name is Dadaji Khobargade. He's from Maharashtra. Anyone heard the name? Okay. He didn't have any education in agriculture. He did experimental breeding on a new variety of rice, and after many years, almost 17 years, he developed a successful variety of rice, which all of us are very aware of today. HMT rice. Heard? It was developed by him. He is now listed on Forbes. Anybody heard about Chintakandi Mallesham?
Yes, sir.
You would have seen a movie about him.
Yes.
Yeah. He is the designer of Lakshmi Asu machine. He's a weaver. He's from Nalgonda. He's from a weaver community, very poor family. He invented a device which mechanized the entire process of weaving the yarn. For generally to make one silk sari, traditional Pochampalli sari, it takes 9,000 turns by hand to weave the sari across. They have wooden pegs across, and to weave that it takes 9,000 turns. He saw the struggle of his mother, who was suffering with hand and shoulder pains, and he designed this machine. He didn't do any formal education, any engineering, and he sells his machine for 18,000 rupees. He's a rural entrepreneur. Anybody heard about Kailash Khatkar? Kailash Khatkar, sorry. Quick Heal Technologies? Anybody heard about Quick Heal Antivirus? Yeah. Kailash Khatkar is a dropout, 10th dropout. He started working in a calculator repair shop, and slowly he was very good at his technology, and he was very good with his repairs, and he started learning how to repair computers, and he started CAD computers, which now became Quick Heal Technologies. And now he has a workforce of 1,200 people under him. One more person, I would say, Navalben Chowdhury. I don't think you would have heard about this name. She's a woman entrepreneur. How much money can one person earn by selling milk? Take your wildest guess. Your wildest guess. 1 year. In 1 year, how much can a woman earn by selling milk? She earned 87.95 lakhs by selling her milk to Amul. She didn't sell it anywhere else. She just sold it to Amul. This is in 2019 to 2020. In 2022, she sold it for 1.15 crores. This is officially on Amul's website. There are more. She has 4 sons. All of them together are working. All of them are working in different software companies. All of them together have not surpassed her income. Anybody heard about Dharampal Gulati? Okay. MDH. Remember? The old man which come when we go to Inox, we see that, yeah, he is Dharampal Gulati, founder of MDH. So I don't think there is any lack of innovation in rural sector. It's just about the implementation. So are there any opportunities in rural in Bharat for entrepreneurs? Our rural population in 2022 is estimated at 64% of India's complete population is in rural India, rural Bharat. 64%. But the world average is 39%. So we are almost at double the population in rural. I see a huge sector of opportunities here where we have the largest base of customers. And most of them have the similar kind of needs. You take from north to south, most of their needs are very similar in the rural part. Yeah, in the cities, their needs vary, but in the rural part, their needs are mostly similar. There are a lot of government initiatives through credit schemes, subsidies for enterprises who are looking to work in rural areas. There's very little competition. The resources are plenty, but they're very underutilized. The need to promote your product is low. You don't have to promote your product so much. Like, contrary to what the belief is, that it is very difficult. If you ask any marketing organization, they will tell you why they will not focus on rural areas is because the marketing is very difficult in those areas. The penetration is very difficult. But the reason is, but if your product is really worth it and you are working out of a rural setup, you don't have to promote your product. You take any industry which is based out in the rural areas, they have their market set in the rural area itself. Whatever they earn out of the cities is a surplus. So I think that's about that from me. Yeah. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, you'd like to ask me. May not be able to tell you much about the technical jargon, but yeah, please.
How can an individual facilitate?
Yeah, first hand.
Thank you for the presentation. So my doubt is, since it's a limited incubation time for the startups, at what stage of a startup do you think it is best to approach an incubation center? Is it during ideation, validation, or when they're scaling their business?
If I'm talking about other incubation centers, we have incubation centers who are mentoring from ideation stage itself. There are incubation centers who are supporting at the prototype stage itself. So, what stage would you need it actually? You have all the avenues here. The avenues are open here. Like you said, you don't have to approach them. There's no set rule that you should approach them at this particular point. The avenues are available today. You can approach them at ideation stage. You can approach them at prototype stage. You can approach us post your execution stage. Because we are not mentoring startups so much, but we are mentoring the rural entrepreneurs. So, yeah, please.
Since it's a limited time, so from a startup perspective, is it better for them to approach at a later stage or from the initial days itself?
No, you can approach from the initial stage, but if you have a prototype ready and if you are looking for mentoring at that stage, then you should go for it. Why should you wait till you have developed the complete business and then go for an incubation at that stage? That's what I'm saying. You have different incubation centers at different stages. You can incubate at all of them. You can incubate at a prototype incubation center with, like for Geetham, which has a prototype stage. You can also incubate with our hub, which is post the prototype stage. At the ideation stage itself, they start mentoring you. You choose it.
How can I add value as an individual for one of your startups, say for example from the rural body, and how often can we be in connect with them and add value from our experiences? Is the first one.
Okay. If yours is a HR startup, right? You're into HR.
It's mostly into educational, fixing education,
Okay.
and then later point it would be in HR.
Right. Okay. Maybe with the training aspects, developing proper training modules, you can assist us with that. You can assist probably you can work with us together, and we can work with them, with the rural entrepreneurs on that aspect, how they can be trained.
Okay. So the second one is, what is the difference between a facilitator and a mentor when it comes to incubation from under BCT?
Under BCT, we don't have any facilitator. I am the mentor. So there is no technical difference over there.
Okay.
So like I said, I don't know about the technical jargon, but yeah, I'm both facilitator and mentor.
Good.
My name is Jay. So my question is, you're talking about the jargon and all. Rural entrepreneurship might not be corrupt with all this jargon. Whatever happens organically, naturally. So I'm into training. So how to approach them and make it connect with them. For example, I want to train them into design thinking or conceptual thinking. So what is the process in which we can approach the rural entrepreneurs and impart them the right kind of training, so that we can have the connect, and also will not corrupt them with the technicalities of the jargon of the trade.
So the first thing you will need is the language part. I mean, you have to the area which you are serving, it has to be in the local language. Your training material and the delivery as well should be that. And you should be able to show them the end result. That you have to show them. You mean what should I say? Adding no insult to that, but a carrot. What is the carrot that they will get at the end of your training? So unless they see that carrot, they're not going to come for it. So like I have said, there is a lot of inhibition towards technology as well as towards change. That is, of course, it's across every human being there is there, but it's more deep rooted in the rural areas because of the lack of awareness or lack of exposure to the outside world, or should I say that. So that is very less. So you should be able to show them what is the end result, and they have to believe that will be their end result, not you. You may believe that by doing this training you will become very qualified to get a job, but you should be able to show them that you see so and so person has done this training, he is hired in so and so company, he is so and so from your village, and he earns this much. I mean, like an example I'm saying. So till they see that result, they're not going to come. That's one of the challenges we see with a lot of rural entrepreneurs with us also. Like they don't see because most of them are not financially literate, they don't do an accounting, they don't know how much they earn. Once we go and ask them, they say, I'm earning 1,000 a day. After a few days when we go and ask them, they say, we are earning 100 a day. So, and when we ask them, how much do you earn in the month? If they are doing 1,000 a day, it should be 25 to 30,000 a month, right? But they end up saying it's around 20,000 to 15,000. So what happened on the remaining 15 days? So then they say we don't know, every day is not the same. So that's why we ask them to keep records. So there's still a struggle going on in this aspect while we train them with the technology aspect. So training, like you said, is still a challenge. But unless they see the result, like we want to show them, see, this is how much you have earned in this month. You could have earned this much by saving so much, or you have spent so much on an unnecessary expenditure which you could have reduced and still earn more. So by giving them by showing them the carrot and the result, till then I don't think they will fall in place for the training aspect like you have mentioned. But then the avenue is still open. The avenues are there. It's like what should we say? The experiment that we do should not stop if it's for greater good. We should keep trying. We try in different ways. We fail in some, we succeed in some. But then the work we should do must be to keep moving forward. So that's what I believe.
Small follow-up is that you cited the example of Malaysia, where he invented this textile related invention. So did he get patented? Did he get that thing patented?
Yeah. And
are they aware of this patenting? Because even
yeah.
cities, we don't know. Most of us are not aware of patenting.
Yes. So coming to Malaysian part, Malaysian's goal from the day he started as a child in this weaving community was to make his mother's work very simple. His mother used to be the one who used to do this weaving, so he wanted to make his mother's life better. And he persisted through this for almost like 15 to 20 years. And that is what persistence is like. For 15 to 20 years he persisted with that, and finally he invented this machine. No, he hasn't patented it. He hasn't taken a patent for it. He has left it open for everyone to use it.
That's his choice.
Yeah, that's his choice. Then today, like it takes generally, if a number of weavers can work on one Pochampalli saree one day, it takes a day. With Malaysian's machine, they can manufacture 6 sarees in one day. There are a lot of other rural entrepreneurs, if I would like to tell about Arunachal Muruganathan, Padman. I think you have heard about the movie, right? So I had the opportunity to talk to him about 10 years ago when he had just started out with this, and his story itself is so inspiring. If you did not check out one of his TED Talks. Padman is nothing in comparison to his TED Talk. He's a school dropout working from Tamil Nadu. He was purely working with his innovation and drive, how to address the issues of reducing cost at home. That was his goal, because his wife and his mother, wife was having periods frequently, and they were using cloths for their periods, and they were often falling sick. So he started inquiring about this. It's a taboo matter, more even in our cities, but in a village you can imagine how he was treated. And he slowly started doing this, and he started asking his wife, why don't you buy something from the market? Why don't you buy Whisper? Why don't you buy Carefree? They said that if we buy pads for 1 month, the milk ration, the milk budget for this month is over. Our house cannot buy milk. So he wanted to know, why is this product so expensive? And he started out with that. And he hasn't patented his product yet. So that's how it is. Thanks. Thank you.